If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before to come up, I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy counting all these blessings.
Count it up, count it up, count it up. Line them up, line them up, line them up. Swear the sun shining on me, get my heart up, no matter that trouble surrounding us. They don't see that it's a lot of us. Everybody move anonymous. Won't take that credit, I know where we get it. Them blessings be coming from God above. I was doing all kind of bad, what a quiet ass. Tell him I need a verse. Hit the pew and tell Gotti is first. Hit the studio, the body a verse. I remember pushing mama little white Hyundai with no gas money. I just bought a car, cash money. I ain't even trying to brag on it. I just tell it how it really. And I deserve nothing, I'm just trying to talk about the benefits. I've been punching in the clock, trying to keep the kitchen stocked. Man, it's a blessing cause we ain't never had a lot, but all we need is all we got. Whew.
If I ever took a loss, I learned a lesson. I won't ever think I'm better than the next man. I've been down before to come up, I ain't stressing. Baby, I'm too busy counting all these blessings. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Blessings. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Count it up, count it up, count it up. Blessings. I put my mama in the grips and stop stressing. I put my girl in a brand new diamond necklace. She said she need more of my love and affection. Cause lately I've been working harder than ever. She said, baby, you a boss. Baby, please care.
If the world don't stand a chance, man, I'm gonna beat this world 3 times, cause they don't stand a chance. I'm Larry Williams. This is I'm the CEO of CAMEL Game Clothing, also the CEO of Controlling Gravity Music. This is my humble beginnings, I guess so to say. I have traveled around the world. I have mentored a bunch of people. I've spoken at schools. I've encouraged a bunch of people. I guess, and it all started out when I first moved to North Memphis, Tennessee, New Chicago, where the crime rate is higher than the graduation rate. My mom and my stepdad, Mr. Lee, which everybody know him as Mr. Lee, met when I was probably about 11. And when my mom and him first got together, we probably weren't the best of friends. Me and my stepdad, when we first moved to New Chicago, we stayed on Louisville, which we stayed for the majority of my life from the age of 11 to the age I am now. We've been pretty much in this community, in New Chicago community. The earlier part of my life, just staying there, like I said, we stayed in a 4-room house. And when I say 4 rooms, I don't mean like 4 bedrooms, I mean like 4 rooms. We had 1 kitchen, we had 1 bathroom, we had a bedroom, and we had a living room. The living room, which is where me and my mom, the living room where my mom and stepdad slept at. The bedrooms where me and my 5 to 6 siblings really slept at. And of course, like I said, we had the kitchen, we had the bathroom. And that was our place, that's where we lived at. We woke up every morning there, we went to sleep every night there. We grew up there. We grew up next to, on our left side of us, we had it was a dope house. It was where they sold the dope and cooked the dope at. And on the right of us is where they actually smoked the dope at, you know what I mean? So, and right across the street from us was a house, a prostitution house, basically, pimp's house. And right in the midst of it, like right in the very midst of it, is where I lived at. And like I said, this is where I woke up every morning, this is where I went to sleep every night too. I walked to school from here. I learned about life from this place, you know what I mean? Like I learned about the struggle from this place. This is where, this where I actually came from. I walked to school every morning when I first moved to North Memphis. When I first moved to New Chicago anyway, I was going to FILMZ Middle School, and I was a troubled child. I was a troubled child. I feel like I was a troubled child because we didn't have like all the expensive things that other children had or that other families had. You know what I mean? Like there was nights that we didn't have lights. There was nights that there was no hot water. You know what I mean? Like we didn't have the flashiest shoes. We didn't have the nicest clothes. Our hair wasn't the best cut. You know what I mean? And our family, you know, all we had was family, and that's why I feel like that we stick together so thick now is because we know how I feel not to have nothing but each other. So we're so close to each other now. Like we lean on each other. We know that each one of us got each other back because we came from, you know, all 7 of us in one house, 4 rooms. We can't do nothing but see each other every day. We can't do nothing but get along with each other every day. I had 3 big brothers, in which they play a major role in my success today. They play a major role in a part in who I am today. All of them played like different roles in my life and helping me become the person that I am now. My oldest brother Darian, he was more so he was street smart, and he kind of like mentored me on like what was going on in the street, helping me with the streets, and not so much as like putting me in the streets, but putting me up on the knowledge and education of what was going on in the streets, not to fall for certain things that were going on in the streets. And I had my next to the oldest brother Mark, who he was the athletic one, all-star athlete in high school, superstar, great attitude, always positive guy. And I sort of kind of like adapted it from him because I knew taking from him, that's what people love. I mean, like that's the things that people loved about him. So, and then my next to the oldest brother, my brother right above me, which was like my best friend, like which is Tony, my best friend from birth. I mean, like he's always had my back. He's always supported me no matter what I was doing. I could be about to break in the house, he was gonna break in the house with me. I could be about to go to church, he was going to church with me. You know, so didn't matter what it was, he always had my back, and it's still to this day. A beautiful story about me and Tony. My senior year in high school, he had just bought his first car, and it was like his dream car, really. It was a 2-door Chevy Tahoe he had got, and I had never drove before, never drove a day in my life. But it was prom night, and I didn't have a car, so he was just like, "Take the keys, little bro." He was like, "Just don't wreck the car. Just take the keys." And to this day, like, I respect my brother for that. Like, it don't matter where I go, no matter how big I get, I would never be materialistic with, you know what I mean, with none of my brothers. But that moment right there, that's what I mean by like family, you know what I mean? Like, despite the material things, the money, the power, the success, my family, you know what I mean? Like, we got each other, we thick with each other, we at the end of the day, we got each other. So, but to go on with what was going on, graduated from FILMZ. I was a troubled child the entire time. My mom probably went up to the school, and she would always tell me, "I go to the school more for you than I go for any more of my other kids." And it was true. Like, I was a bad child. I was a troubled child. Crazy thing about me is my name is Larry Williams, of course, and I was named after my other stepdad, of course, not my actual dad. I met my actual dad when I was 22. I met him when I was 22 years of age. He spent the majority of his life in jail. He spent the majority of his life getting over, trying to beat the system, and running from his problems, basically. You know what I mean? Still to this day, he's pretty much still on the same path. But I met my stepdad when I was about 11. That's when we first moved to New Chicago, moved to that 4-room house that I'm telling you about. Me and my stepdad, we weren't the best of friends. We didn't see eye to eye. And he was always the hardest on me. Of all people, he was always the hardest on me. My oldest brother, around that time, he had pretty much moved out of the house because he was like, he was on that path, like doing my own thing type thing. So he was becoming a man. My oldest brother, Mark, like I said, he was he was a good kid, you know what I mean? Like he was like the golden child, so to say. He was an all-star athlete. Everybody in the school loved him. Everybody in the community loved him. So my stepdad really didn't have to be stern on him. My other brother, Tony, you know, he was just always smooth and cool. Like he wasn't a up person, he wasn't a down person. He was just, you know, cool, smooth and cool. But me, I was always into something. I was always trying to figure out how this worked like this. I was always trying to see what I can get into, and then on top of that, I was just a troubled child, like I said. Like I was always on suspension. I was always getting in trouble in school. I was always talking back to a teacher. I was always being disruptive in class. It was always something with me. So he was always stern on me, and I always used to ask myself, like, why he's so mean to me? You know what I mean? And I used to walk to school from New Chicago, from Louisville, all the way to Manassas every morning. We had 2 cars in the driveway. My mom had a car, my stepdad had a truck. And still, every morning, rain, sleet, or sunny, they was waking me up and telling me to go to school and walk to school. So, but it built, and now looking back on what they were doing then, they were building character. You know what I mean? It built character. They were instilling morals into me that I use, you know, right now to this day. You know, this whole demeanor that I have about never giving up, to keep going, to carry the load. That's the same thing that was going through my mind when I was on those walks to school. I got to the military, like it wasn't nothing new they could show me. You want me to run? I've been doing it my whole life. You want me to stay outside? I've been doing it my whole life. You want to put me in a bad situation? I've been living in a bad situation my whole life. So making it out, and but I mean, like this the city though. Like this where we're from. This, of course, my right hand. Everybody knows my right hand, man. To this day, I really don't tell him this, but I tell him this. Like I still to this day have never met like nobody as loyal as dude in my life. I'm talking about like from my mama to my. If I had $1 million and I had to trust it with anybody and I had to go, it would be him, hands down. Hands down. Like we really came from like we met 9th grade. I think I was finna beat him up. I was finna beat up. I was finna beat up you, Shaq. Zay, I finna beat up y'all thought y'all hot stuff. I leave from 7th Street. Okay. Yeah. Y'all still gonna get beat up. And it built character. I mean, like just walking, the walk built character. It allowed me to think, you know what I mean? And that's what he was trying to show me without telling me. He was just trying to make me figure it out. You know what I mean? Like you can tell a person, you know, how to get to the end of the road. Or you can put them on the road and make them figure it out. And you'll learn more about figuring it out yourself than somebody telling you so. And I think that's what my stepdad was trying to do to me the whole time. He was always the sternest on me because he knew that I needed it. And he always put me in situations that I had to work it out myself. So when he wasn't there, when my mom wasn't there, when my brothers wasn't there, I could work it out myself. And those same tools are the tools that help me out to this day, you know, work it out. But during high school, like I said, pretty troubled high school. Somehow, some way, I made it out. I graduated from high school with a 1.7 grade point average, which is pretty low. After graduating out of high school, I played sports for the majority of my high school years. And after graduating, I went to college. I had got accepted to a little small junior college playing football. Well, within that first year, not even the first year, the first weeks of being in football camp, I stole a car. I had stole a car from one of the players, and had got kicked out of school. We got to fighting, and I got kicked out of school. And after getting to fighting and get kicked out of school, with me being a troubled child, and with me, you know, having that pressure of going back to my family, going back telling my mom that I got kicked out of college before college even started, I decided to join the military. And that's when I joined the military. I actually joined the military from a friend who I had helped back in high school, which is here nor there. But I joined the military. Once I joined the military, I feel like I was pretty much prepared for the military lifestyle. Me being, you know, playing football, it prepared me for the physical part of it. With my coaches, you know, and stuff like yelling at me, they prepared me for the physical part of it. And my stepfather prepared me for the mental part of it, which was, son, one day is gonna be a point in your life where there's not gonna be, I'm not gonna be there, and your brother's not gonna be there, and you're gonna have to work it out yourself. So when I got to the military, I was already physically and mentally ready for it because I had been through it my whole life. Like, I had already came from nothing. I had already had to sleep, you know, with no lights. I had already had to share everything that I had. I had already had to have no space. I had already had to be, my whole life was uncomfortable. So for you to put me in a military environment where they're basically training you to live in an uncomfortable lifestyle, I was already living in an uncomfortable lifestyle. So I adapted to it so well, I excelled in it. Once I joined the military, my high school, I guess my high school sweetheart, so to say, she had got pregnant right before I joined the military, right before I left to actually go. Like, I signed my papers, and right after I signed my papers, she had got pregnant. And so she got pregnant, and I left. Of course, I still left off. And then, you know, in my mind, I'm like, you know, I got a child on the way, but it's okay because I got a career on the way as well. And it made me grow up, you know what I mean? And it was times like, I can remember times being out there, and it could be 4 o'clock in the morning, and it's 2 below zero outside, and it's raining outside, and my hands are in the sand, and I'm freezing, and I can see my battle buddies to my left and right. You know, they ready to give up, and they ready to give in, and the only thing that I can, you know, recall in my head is, this is nothing, you know what I mean? Like, I've been here before. Giving up, that's not an option. I got a son on the way, you know, and I got, you know, so I'm thinking back to myself, and it just goes back to those walks that I'm talking about that allowed me, that my stepdaddy made me take, that allowed me to think my way through it, to talk my way out of it, to tell myself that, you know, there's a better ending on the other side of it. So I made it through a boot camp and basic training, and I excelled through it, you know what I mean? Like, there was nothing that they could. Push-ups, I was a beast at it. Running, I was a beast at it. Mentally, getting through obstacles, and I was a beast at it. As far as in the discipline part, you know, that came with it, you know, because I was a hood kid. And but eventually, the military structured me, and eventually I, you know, whipped into shape with the discipline part of it. Once I got back home from basic training at AIT, I wanted more of it though. I wanted more military experience. I wanted to do more. I wanted more money. I wanted more. I wanted to do more. I wanted more. I've always wanted more. Even as a child, this sort of kind of off subject. Even as a child, my parents, like, we were very religious. I grew up in a very religious household. My mom and dad took us to church Monday through Sunday. Anytime the church doors was open, we was there. And even as a troubled child, which is crazy, my prayer is the Jabez prayer. It's just always been enlarging my territory. Bless me where I may bless others. And this always been my mindset. Like, I always told him I want a bunch of money. But I don't want a bunch of money just so I can sit back and waddle in. I want a bunch of money so I can help, you know, my family. I want a bunch of money so I can not just help my family, my community, not just my community, but my city, not just my city, but my state, not just my state, but my country. You know what I mean? So I've always had a bigger than me mindset. I've always had a mindset to want to help not just me. But anyway, back to the story. I got back home, and my son was born. And when my son was born, I still didn't have enough. You know, I was still with my grandparents when I got back home. And I had an option. I could go to school, you know, and kind of like, you know, work and do the military, or I could go overseas. And I knew that going overseas, it was going to bless me, you know what I mean? I knew that I was going to make good money overseas. So with my son being, I spent a small time with my son. My son was probably about 4 months. I signed up to go overseas, signed up to do my first tour. And we deployed to Kuwait. And I left I left in December of 2000 and I want to say 13. I want to say 13. Yeah, my son was born in 12. I left in 12, something like that. Anyway, my son was born in 12. I left in 12 as well. So he was born August 4th. I left. He was born August 4th, 2012. I left December of 2012. And once I left, I went overseas. Overseas was difficult, but it was an experience. And overseas is where it began. I mean, like, I feel like that's where my new beginning began. That's where I seen something else, which is the birth of CAMEL Gang. CAMEL Gang was started in Kuwait, and which is my first tour. And how CAMEL Gang was started was, it's actually beautiful. We were on a convoy, and we ran across some shepherds. We ran across these guys who had some camels, basically. And he was just telling us about the beauty of the camel. The camel is the only animal, the only thing, period, that can go several days with no food, no water, no nourishment, with a heavy load on his back, and can continue to keep going. And in Kuwait, they pretty much praise the camel because of how its endurance, its ability to keep going, its ability to carry the load. So when I got back to the base that day, I was walking around base, and of course on base you can't wear plain white t-shirts. Not on the military base, because it's considered a part of the military uniform. So they was getting on me about that. I ended up going to the embroidery shop, and I was in the embroidery shop. I was like, hey, I need to put something on all my t-shirts, because I can't wear them on base, but I like wearing my plain white t-shirt up in the hood, you know what I mean? So plain white t-shirts are basically our thing, and the hood part of it is still in me. So I was like, they were like, what do you want? So I'm looking around, and of course, like I said, they praised the camel, so there's camels all over. I was like, you know what, just put the camel on, just put the little camel thing on there. And they was like, okay. So I come back later on that day, and I got probably like 6 t-shirts. All of them have the little embroidered camel on. And I get my shirts, take them, and I'm playing sports over there. And sports over there is pretty popular, because you're on a military base. There's not too much to do, so everybody's gonna come crowd around and come watch sports. I was playing football, and I was pretty good at it. So while playing football and everybody was watching, like mostly everybody on the bases, they were watching the actual games. I was wearing my t-shirt. So everybody got to ask, like, hey, what's that you got on? And me being who I was, I was like, oh, it's my clothing line, called CAMEL Gang. And the reason why I chose CAMEL Gang is because, and this is true story, at that time, this was like Hustle Gang came out, Taylor Gang came out, Rich Gang came out, like everything was like gang. So I just like, it's CAMEL Gang. And they ate it up. I want some. Everybody started wearing, everybody on the base started wearing, everybody's on CAMEL Gang. And so I sort of kind of like took it serious. I started like putting camels on my socks, putting it on my t-shirts, putting it on my hats, and I'm just walking around, just like, oh yeah, it's my clothing line, CAMEL Gang. And so after that whole little thing, I was over there for a year. Once I came home, I can remember sitting in the car. My mom came and picked me up. It was my very first day. I just got off the plane, and it was all over with. I was at home. I sat in the car with my mom, and I'm gonna be a little honest, man. I cried, what I'm saying? Like, I was sitting in the car, and I cried. And my mom looked over at me like, Larry, what's wrong with you? I was like, I don't know what to do, Mom. And basically what had happened was I had came from a lifestyle where you really didn't have to think. Everything was pretty much planned out for you. You know what I mean? Like being in the military, on a military installation, you wake up, you work out, you go to work, you go eat, you come back, you do the same thing over and over. It's repetition. So you're basically doing the same thing every day. I wake up in the morning, I go get me something to eat, I work out. Once I work out, I go to work. Once I get off work, I come back, play the game or some crap, and I'm the same cycle over and over. But now once I got back home on the civilian side, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to do. There was no military. There was no sergeant waking me up telling me, Williams, time to go eat. Williams, it's time to go work out. Williams, you got to be here. It was just me doing, you know, what it was that I wanted to do. I was a civilian. I was free to do as I may, and I didn't know exactly what to do. I was lost. I had been away from this lifestyle for a whole year. So once I, you know, like I said, once that moment was over with, she was like, you know, we're gonna make it through this type of thing. You know, my mom, she talked to me. My mom has always been a great positive lady, like always. My mom, from day one, has been like the inspiration of my life. Like, she's always been there for me. No matter what she had, you can give her last. Like, anybody who knows my mom knows that you can have her last. If she invites you in, it's not if she invites you in, she's gonna invite you in. A homeless person off the street, you can come in. It doesn't matter. Like, she's just you can, anytime you're around my mom, you can feel the love. And though she wasn't like always, you know, she's pretty educated now, but my mom dropped out of school in like, I want to say like 6th grade. And so she never had an educational background. The only thing my mom could instill in her children was respect. Respect to take you a long way. At the end of the day, being respectful, being humble, being courteous and good to people, it'll take you a long way. She instilled it into us then, you know what I mean? Like I said, because she couldn't really instill education. How can a woman who didn't pass the 7th grade and tell me to graduate from high school? So her forcing education wasn't her biggest thing, because she knew there was even though she did, it wasn't her focal point. She knew that, you know, I want you to graduate from high school, and I want you to do those things, and I want you to go ahead and get your education, but being good to people, being kind to people, taking care of people, respecting people, that'll take you a long way. That's bigger than life. So, but anyway, back to the story. I came back home. I'm sitting around doing nothing. I got about $50,000 cash in my pocket for a kid from the hood who, like I told you, came from a shack. $50,000, that's a lot of money. So I'm sitting there, I got $50,000 in my pocket, and I'm still beating myself up because I don't know what to do with my life. And a friend who who was with me when I was overseas, called me, and it was like, "What about the clothing line? What you been doing with CAMEL Gang? What's up with CAMEL Gang?" And I was like, I guess it snapped on me then. And I was like, oh man, let me push my brand. Let me push this. I can do something with this. Let me see what I can do. So it was the 4th of July. And right before the 4th of July, it was just by chance that the 4th of July was coming up. I had put in for my first order of t-shirts. I had sat down with the graphic designer, Ernest Fields, who still to this day does work for CAMEL Gang Clothing. Great guy. If you're trying to start a clothing line or anything like that, go talk to Ernest Fields. But I sat down with Ernest Fields. We came up with the very first CAMEL Gang logo, which is the one with the reefs around it. We sat down and we came up with it, and right before the 4th of July, I dropped 2 colors. I dropped a white shirt with a red camel on it. With the red logo on it. I dropped a black shirt with another logo, but it had like stars going around it. If you've been following CAMEL Gang, you remember there was another one that came out. It had the gold stars going around it. It had the camel in them, and it said CAMEL Gang upon it. And I dropped those right before the 4th of July. I promoted them right before the 4th of July. On the 4th of July, I sold out so fast of those shirts, I had to call him back and tell him that I needed some more shirts that day. I was like, man, I need some more shirts. I need you to make me some more shirts. Can you make me some more shirts? I need some now. Like, my family, my friends, everybody had like just jumped behind us because they had really never heard of somebody starting a clothing line. Like, that was just like at all. Like, wow, really? Like, everybody wants to rap. Everybody wants to, you know, play football, be in the NBA, but somebody starting a clothing line? Wow, that's something different. Everybody jumped behind it. So I sold out of the clothes so fast, and everybody was so behind me. It inspired me. Like, I was like, man, I got something. You know what I mean? Like, I got something.
Surf's Up, CAMEL Gang Clothing. I'm glad you viral. I fuck with you every time you come out here. The gang, Lexi the best. Add me on Snap. Gang. Oh my God.
So we pushed Camel Gang. I got with a friend of mine, Tavis Daniels. I got a friend of mine, a real close friend of mine, Tavis Daniels, who was in the movie Undefeated. So he was pretty popular because he had, I think the movie had gotten like I want to say like a Academy Award or something like this. So he had already been on big stages. So when he got with me, it brought so much exposure to the clothing line because of who he was. The clothing line picked up so fast. Like we're moving boxes and boxes of clothing, Camel Gang. We talking about from sweatpants, t-shirts, socks, hats. I mean anything that we put a camel on that they wanted, they were eating it up. And Shay was like, man, we need to take this to Coach Bill. Coach Bill, he was a head coach when I was back in high school, but he owned a few businesses. He was a millionaire basically. He was a millionaire, and I went down and sat in his office and I told him what Camel Gang was and how it got started and what I wanted to do with it. And he was like, Larry, I want a part of this clothing line. I want to be a part of this. I don't want to let this pass by me. I see that this is going to be a big thing. I see this is a big opportunity. I see that you're serious and dedicated to it. I want in. So we sat down, he sat me down, and we turned Camel Gang into an actual business. It became from being a hobby that I was selling on my trunk to becoming a business. So at that point, once, and we drew it up where, you know, I signed over part of the actual business to him. I sold him a percentage of the business. He was always real fair with me. I sold him a part of the business. We drew up the paperwork and everything got done. And I remember it was like a Saturday morning. Now this is one millionaire on the board. I'm a kid from North Memphis. I got a millionaire on the board with me. I'm 22 years old. It's a millionaire on the board with me. On the board of my clothing line. You know what I mean? Like we're sitting on the board and he's on the board with me. And the next Saturday after signing him, I got another call and it was Champions, which was this very huge company, Champions, and they wanted to buy in, which was another $1 million company. So now I'm looking at a situation where there's two different millionaires who are ready to buy into, who are ready and willing to buy into my company that I started, out of nowhere. My kid from North Memphis starting a clothing line, and I got two millionaires who want to buy into it. So now we've set up a legitimate business. And after starting Camel Gang, like I said, the success of Camel Gang it sort of kind of like waved through the internet. My neighborhood started to wear it, celebrities started to wear it, and I just began like to travel with it. Like I took it. It's been in New York, it's been to Houston, it's been to Ohio, it's been to New York, it's been to, we're real big in California, we're real big in Phoenix. Of course, we're the Mecca is down here in Memphis where they love Camel Gang. Now Camel Gang clothing is probably the hottest clothing line, like locally built clothing line down here, and it's an inspiration. To this day, my clothing line, the proceeds from my clothing line, I'm still in, it goes back to my neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like every month at least, I know we're buying a brand new pair of shoes and taking it to the neighborhood and giving back to the community. We're in the community, we're giving to the homeless. We're doing certain charities for the homeless. We're blessing different families on Christmas, like we're blessing them for Christmas, going and giving back. You know what I mean? Which is the motto of the clothing line. Like I told you, the beauty about the camel is its fact to keep going and to carry the load, endurance to keep going. So what Camel Gang basically stands for, or what it basically is for, teachers, firefighters, doctors, police officers. They carry the load for the community. Me being in the military, I feel like I carry the load for the country. Parents, mom, dads, if you're taking care of someone, you're carrying the load for them. So Camel Gang can relate to everyone. Every and anyone can relate to Camel Gang in some shape, form, or fashion, because everybody can relate to carrying the load for something. So And we don't just say carrying load, like we actually do it, we actually live it, we're actually in the community giving back and motivating, you know, motivating the youth, motivating the next Larry Williams, motivating the next Jay-Z, motivating the next black kid, motivating the next kid in poverty, period. That there's a way out, just to keep going, carrying the load, keep going, you know, the endurance to keep moving. And it can happen, you know what I mean? Like, this is where I'm from, this is my humble beginning. Let's count again.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready? I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this, so I had to grind like that, to shine like this. In a matter of time I spent on some locked up shit in the back of the paddy wagon, cuffs locked on wrist. See my dreams unfold, nightmares come true. It was time to marry the game, and I said, yeah, I do. If you want it, you gotta see it with a clear eye view. Got shorty, she tryna bless me like I said I chew. Like a nigga sneeze, nigga please for them trick and squeeze, I'm getting cream. Never let them hoes get in between of what we started. Little nigga, but I'm lying hearted. They love me when I was stuck and they hated when I departed. I go and get it regardless. Draw it like I'm an artist, no crawling, went straight to walk.
This side, so once we get this side taken care of, we don't even gotta like, we can just focus on the West Coast. Then on the West Coast, they so behind on fashion, little do people know.
I did shit with Mariah. Little nigga, I'm on fire. Icy as a hockey ring, Philly nigga, I'm flyer. When I bought the Rolls Royce, they thought it was lease. Then I bought that new Ferrari, hey, to rest in peace. Hey, to rest in peace to the parking lot. Phantom so big, can't even fit in the parking spot. You ain't talking about my niggas, then what you talking about? Gangsters move in silence, nigga, and I don't talk a lot. I don't say a word. I don't say a word, was on my grind and now I got what I deserve. Fuck, nigga.
So what we need to do, like, to get the paper, you got the paper yourself.
Since I come down across the bridge, it's breeze.
You want to have that top of the breeze. So what's up, like, what you think about action pack? So he really got some rap about it, you know what I'm saying? Like, he really can talk about it. He got, like, this time, you supposed to be dropping mixtape after mixtape after mixtape. Cause it's finna jump off. Like, this finna be the new A.
Fuck, nigga. Hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? When I bought the ass tomorrow, y'all thought it was rented? Flexing on these niggas, I'm like Popeye on the spinach. Double M, yeah, that's my team. Rose, the captain, I'm lieutenant. I'm the...
We ran from the same bullets. We you know what I'm saying? We came from the, we was together, so now that we're in the position that we in now, it's a lot more comfortable because I don't gotta look over my shoulder and one is my business partner trying to get over me. I don't gotta look over my corner and think like it's my best interest in his mind, like, and the same with him. Like, we on the same page, like I said. Like, he'll call me, hey man, you know what I'm saying? Like, this right here going on. We need to get some Camel Gang in this. We need to get some CG there. We need to put some on the shelves here. We need to be looking into this here. You know, he pushing it just as hard as I'm pushing it. He got, you know, like, even with the alcohol situation, like the alcohol that we dropped, or that we still dropping, that we still pushing.
Type can of men cast and grind like I'm broke. That Lambo, my new bitch, she'll ride like my ghost. I'm riding around my city with my hands strapped on my toes, cause these niggas want me dead, and I got it.
That we on, like, he pushing it just as hard as I'm pushing it. He see the vision, he see the dream, and he behind on it. And forever fucking with him for that. Forever fucking with him for that. Even though I was finna have to beat him up when we first met.
Make it back home, cause my mama need that bill money, my son needs some milk. These niggas try to take my life, they fuck around, get killed. You fuck around, you fuck around, you fuck around, get smoked. Cause these Philly niggas I bought with me don't fuck around, no joke. No, all I know is murder. When it come to me, I got young niggas that's rolling, I got niggas throwing bees. I done did the DOA, I done did the KODs. Every time I'm in that bitch, I get to throwing 30 G's. But now I'm hanging out that drop head, I'm riding down.
I got to the military, like, it wasn't nothing new they could show me. You want me to run? I've been doing it my whole life. You want me to stay outside? I've been doing it my whole life. You want to put me in a bad situation? I've been living in a bad situation my whole life. So making it out, and that's a cakewalk. There's nothing new y'all can show me. And like I said, like, people can say what they want to about the hood, and people can say what, but this built a hunger. Like, the stuff that's inside of me, you can't get this nowhere else. You can't get this nowhere else. Like, you can't tell no story. You
you gotta be here. You have to live it. You have to. So when those people from the other side of the track was in the military with me, they didn't stand a chance because they didn't have that hunger that I got in me. They didn't have that strive that I got in me. It's the same thing in life now. Like I look at people, I tell people every day, the world don't stand a chance. Man, I'm gonna beat this world 3 times because they don't stand a chance